Hey guys, what's going on? We got another PvP video. This time we are playing Holy Paladin, Dev Evoker, and Enhancement Shaman. Now, normally when you would play this type of comp, it would be with an Aug Evoker. Apparently Aug Enhance is really good, but Plum hasn't, I don't think has played Aug, so we're compromising with Dev. And it actually didn't go too bad. The Demon Hunter here, I guess, DC'd, so we didn't really rush him, and then he came back pretty soon after. So it was just like, any regular match. Demon hunters, they are what they are. But anyways, our main focus is going to be shutting down the Dev Evoker because they are very powerful. On top of that, um they have a pretty solid CC and a way to get around, so if I can stick to them, it's good. But yeah, so we're going after the Dev Evoker. Now you're probably wondering, why is Aug Enhance or maybe even Dev Enhance even worth playing? Aug Enhance is actually pretty solid because the Enhancement Shaman gets a lot of defensive buffs from the Aug Evoker, and the Aug still does quite a bit of damage, but also buffs the enhancement damage, which is also pretty darn solid. But why try Dev? Wouldn't that be weird? Yeah, it is kind of weird, but they have an ability called Rescue, which helps with Enhancement Shaman's mobility. And it happened a couple times, and it was very helpful. But yeah, anyways, so we're getting a lot of pressure on this Dev. We got Darkness, we got Guardian Angel, we got a whole lot of defensives out of him. So right now we're in a good spot here. So I get a little bit of CC showing the priest, he can take some damage. Not letting the evoker cast at all. I want to shut down any CCs. I go for a hex. I try and pull juke on the fade and death and stuff, so that way he's not getting out of it for free. He has to actually spend something like his trinket or something like that. So I'm always trying to fake cast his death and stuff like that. So here they made a pull onto Shook, which was quite interesting to me. They do end up getting his bubble in the end, so they pushed him pretty hard. But here we start getting a lot of pressure once again. The evoker's falling. The priest is having trouble, topping him up. So I get to interrupt there. I can't really stop this sleep, but thankfully he sleeps into a dragon breath. And then here I saw the priest go for me, so I knock him away, go for a hex, try and juke anything out, and then we just end up killing the evoker. He had to burn his trinket, but because I was casting, he didn't have any way to stop the cast, so he ended up just falling over, thankfully. So yeah, it's pretty good. But anyways, on to the next one. This was an interesting match. The mage seemed a little weird to me. As you can see, he sent frost bomb into my totem, instantly pops veins and stuff like that, and just goes ham. And it felt off to me. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think of this match. It just felt kind of off. He also places his frost circle perfectly around himself and his teammates, but he never placed it outside of that. Like, he didn't go for any CC with it on Shook or anything like that. So it just felt a bit off to me. I don't know. Not saying he's bad or anything, but it felt off. I don't know. I don't play Frost Mage. I have been dabbling in Fire Mage, but it just felt off. Let me know what you think. But anyways, we're going to be focusing on the Mage. Now, the reason why we're focusing on the Mage is he's a bit squishier than a Boomkin, and he has a bit more of an annoying presence too, where he can actually blink around corners and CC, right? So whereas the Boomkin actually has to go in and Cyclone people, and Cyclone is a pain in the butt to deal with. But I don't know, I just felt like the Mage was the better option. He does have a bit more mobility, but I also feel like we can stop a bit more damage out of the Mage as well, rather than trying to hit a Boomkin who doesn't seem to cast or get stopped by anything like that. So we felt like the Mage was the right option here. So we get his second block, so he sits in that without breaking it, which oh, there he goes, he broke it. So here he gets alter time off, so I'm just spamming purge, just trying to get that off, right? Because that's going to help with damage. If he alters back to full health, it kind of sucks, But here he pushes away, so I'm like, okay, I'll dip behind the corner so he can't just freely hit me. The Boomkin's kind of hitting me, but I'm kind of like, eh. And then Shook calls to, you know, switch to the Boomkin maybe because he's out in the open. So I tried that, which was kind of a mistake on my part because now I'm kind of like in this really crappy spot getting my ass kicked and it kind of sucked. But yeah, so here we get back onto the Mage. Well, he's trying to. He really wants to dip around the corner, which makes complete sense, right? He wants to pull me LOS from my team and bring me alone. So I just waited out, you know, just try and use the wall as LOS to prevent him from attacking me. Go ahead and interrupt Ray of Frost because that is a very painful button. And if you're ever up against mages or frost mages in general, they are a real pain for enhancement because of the amount of CC they have. You're basically relying on your Holy Paladin or your Dragon to help you get to them. So there, I start hitting the Boomkin because he's close by. He was slept, but I don't know, it just didn't seem like it changed much anyways. But yeah, you can see the Boomkin's pushing out, so I kind of switched to him. I don't want to put myself into a bad corner. Here the priest went in for a fear. I didn't have tremor, so I couldn't get that off. And now I'm I have no mana for purging. Thankfully, I think I pulled his altar off in one purge, and then we just get a whole bunch of damage while Plum got a quick sleep on the priest. So it all went pretty well. But yeah, the mage felt off to me. I don't know if anybody else thought so. It just felt a bit off. But anyways, on to the last match of the video. Here we're fighting Ret Demon Hunter. Now, they were on Plum a lot, who is the evoker, and then they made a swap, which was quite interesting to see. I go ahead and kill Grounding Totem because, you know, it's stopping a lot of our damage. And here, I don't know why or what I was thinking, but I didn't go for the kill on the Static Totem, which was weird. But anyways, I hexed Resto, and I pulled them LOS. The reason why I sent them into Plum was to pull them LOS away from the healer. We got both Magic Bop and Netherwalk, which was quite huge. And here we got a bit more pressure. There's the Grounding Totem. Unfortunately, I sent my Primordial Wave into it, which really sucked. That's a whole lot of damage. You have to really watch for that. But you can see they're starting to really chase a lot more. And there I get a nice hex onto the healer. So there's a lot of healing removed. And then he also gets slept, but unfortunately his I don't know what it's called, but one of his abilities cleaved and broke it, unfortunately. There's the static, so I go ahead and kill that. Make sure we don't get stunned. There's another static field. So I'm trying to grab it, but, you know, it's annoying trying to click totems. I am using the default UI, so it could be an issue. Here I see Healing Tide, so I go ahead, take that out with a whole lot of things. I group them up because I want to try and get as much damage as possible on them. It was odd that Flame Shock didn't spread fully, but I don't know. I don't know what happened there. Here he grounds my Hex, which was really good on his part. And this is where they start switching to Shook, which was very odd to me. They got Bubble, and I guess, yeah, going for a Holy Paladin does make sense because they have a lot more externals than defensives for themselves, right? They can stop damage taken from other people. He also has no immunities or anything like that anymore, so he's kind of vulnerable. Here, I made a really weird decision. I thought I had Hex, but didn't. But there I break it. He goes ahead and trinkets, and their team is just pushing in. Plum goes ahead and grabs Shook and pulls him away with his rescue, which was quite huge, getting a lot of value out of that. And then I ended up having to take Lay on Hands because this Paladin just kind of trucked me pretty good. And then they make a quick swap onto me. Very, very odd. They can't quite make up their mind, I guess. I know switching is a good idea on defensives, but I don't know. It didn't feel like they were making a good headway. But there, he gets a lasso. I go ahead and Hex on that. Pull them away from Shook because, you know, I don't want them on top of him. Here I see Tide Totem. Go ahead and kill it. Make sure that goes down. And then we're back onto the DPS. We want to hit the Paladin for the most part because we think he's going to have the hardest or easiest time killing. But here, grounding is back up. Plum went ahead and got that down. And then he, I guess, totem resets and gets it. So it was quite interesting. I guess he's running double reset. So he had both static and grounding back up, which seemed kind of interesting to me. I haven't quite seen that done. There's static. I wasn't able to get it, which sucked. So that was a huge stun. But it also puts us on DR, which is pretty nice. There, I go for a Hex. Even though he had his buff from his rep pally, it's still a bit valuable. But you can see here, they start pushing in around a corner. The Resto Shaman is completely Shook is completely He gets Hodge. He has Trinket, thankfully. And this is where I drop Cage, grab both of them, pulled them even further back. We get a huge amount of damage here. The Demon Hunter dashes away, but has to nether walk, so he couldn't commit. And then we get a whole bunch of damage onto this rep pally, and we take him down. But yeah, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Laters!